Morris thinking it's 13-7 at this point. If I get the field goal, I'm making this a 2-score game. There's no way they can get a touchdown and go for a 2-point score to make this okay. So that is the main important, I think, part for him. And it's not a bad strategy if you're in the third or fourth quarter. But when you're in the end of the first half and when Cutler has yet to go off, really, and that guy's a guy, you'll say what you will about him, he puts points on the board. He does do that. He finds a way. He'll throw interceptions. He's maybe not necessarily a top 3 quarterback in the league, but he does do that. So for them to get that conservative,
he's dangerous.
It seemed like you're sending a sign to your whole team, and you're saying, we don't think we're going to win this game, and we didn't think we're going to find ourselves up 13-7, much less 16-7. So let's just play the odds, let's play the statistics, and let's just try to eke this win out.
Doesn't that kind of work, though? I mean, don't coaches look at statistics? They see how teams work. They'll see numbers, and they'll go, hey, if this worked, 9 times out of 10, I should be using this, and I'm going to be conservative. Run it out. I don't agree with it, but, I mean, they've got to be looking at some numbers or something to...
Well, I think it works in situations where if your team is fully healthy, you're correct. Yeah, I mean, that's the dire thing is it's got to work to some degree or coaches wouldn't work. But, coaches go out and use the prevent defense too. And every time I watch the prevent defense implemented in, it fails. Or not fails, but it doesn't succeed in preventing anything. That's the joke of it. And this is the same thing where you're trying to play it safe, but in playing it safe, you get yourself killed. Remember that Ram game we watched a couple years ago? And the Rams came in and Holmgren had that lead, and it was the beginning of the third quarter. We had gotten up by so many points with like Holmgren's offense where it could just blow up. Blew up in the first half. We're up by like 27-10 or something in the third quarter. Holmgren just starts running. And again, it sends that sign to the team. It sends the sign of we're going to stop attacking. We're going to stop going for it. We're going to basically just try to hold on for the victory. Hold on. And it fails.
Okay, so you don't agree that that's a good idea, and you've seen it fail enough with the Seahawks. I kind of wonder if the Seahawks just aren't built that way. They shouldn't kind of look at that kind of
Well,
scheme.
that's it. You hit the nail on the head. They're an aggressive football team. You're built your defense all around. Look, we're not going to hit you with the scheme of the Steelers where we're just going to out-scheme you and you're not going to know where we're coming from. We're going to just go with a simple base 2 scheme, base cover 2, Tampa 2 defense, and we're just going to let our front 4 go after you and the rest of the team go after you. We're going to gang tackle. We're going to use speed. And the same thing offensively. They want to be up-tempo. They want to go at you. And so, yeah, you're doing against everything you've built your offensive and defensive principles around by doing this. So it doesn't make any sense. And again, it's that sign to the team that says, just hold on, guys. We're just got to hold on now. And that's not a sign that, some teams it may work for him, but even a guy like Bill Belichick, he leads the league in going for it on 4th downs.
So let's do this. Maybe starting right now, whatever. I don't know. But this is your shout-out. Hawkeyes suggestion for the Hawks. What is your suggestion going forward?
Let it all hang out. What do you have to lose at this point? I don't think Holmgren last year figured that out until the end. And even then, I don't think he fully bought into why don't I just let it hang out? One of the things that led to Matt's ascension was that we were going down as a team, and I think it was near the end of like 2002 or 2003. The world lit on fire for him all of a sudden. Like it just, everything clicked. All of Holmgren's teachings, all the time, just all of it clicked in, and he went off. And the reason he did is Matt said this is on record. Mike loosened the playbook. Let us do whatever we want. I could go out there and do what I want to do and be free. And that's what they weren't doing last week.
Well, isn't Mora more relaxed? I mean, I thought we were going to get a little bit more of that with this coach.
He is, but I think it's almost in bursts. He can do it, he just can't do it over a consistent full football game. He'll just do it on, now's a good moment to be aggressive.
Okay.
In defensive, I've got to say, he's walking the walk defensively. He's a defensive coach. Offense is not his forte. But he's got the defense playing aggressive, fast, to the ball. The defense is playing every bit as good as I thought they would. It's better with the people injured. If we had our full health, maybe you could play that safe route you're talking about. Those coaches who play that safe route don't do it when they're missing half their starting team.
Here we go. Hawkeye Kane's suggestion for the Seahawks. 60 seconds. You got 60 seconds to just go.
Okay, my keys on this week are to win. Keep generating pressure. You did it against the 49ers. You can do it against the Colts. There's ability by this team, obviously, to generate pressure from a lot of different places. Most notably, Brandon Mabane, Lawrence Jackson, and Patrick Hurney. They're getting pressure on the quarterback. Use that pressure. Get that key sack at the end of the game like Aaron Curry had this week. The next part, which I'd say is stay on Julius Jones. Keep running him. Don't forget about him like you did in the 49er game.
30 seconds.
The third aspect, and this is the biggest key in what I was just talking about a second ago, and that is throw the football. Throw it down the field. Let Seneca throw it. Tell him to throw it.
Drill, baby, drill.
That's right. Drill, baby, drill. Let them do it. And if they fail, if Seneca throws a bunch of interceptions and we lose, well, so what? You win in Indianapolis and you lost by a lot of points, but you gave it a big try. Last week's game was not a try. It was, let's rely on Olindo Mari to win this football game. Stop relying on a kicker to win your football game. Start relying on the football players.
7 seconds. Well, you know what time it is. We got to talk about it because the Seahawks are always injured. It's time for
Injury Report.
Who's going to be playing this week?
And this week, the answer is nobody. On to the next news. No, I'm joking. Okay, we've got a couple people coming back this week, maybe. Walter is still a maybe, but he's been practicing. And again, they're not putting him on IR for the season. So despite the fact we're not seeing him week to week, there's no reason to think that he won't be back within the next few weeks. Marcus Trufant and Leroy Hill are out, and those are the two we don't know about. Both of them are potentially season enders at this point, unfortunately. We're just not hearing enough news to say that they will be back for certain on this date. Seahawks like to tell you they'll be back at a certain point and then pull the rug out from under you right when you expect them to play. Look no further
Isn't
than
that
the
what every team does, though?
No, some teams will just say this guy will be back and then he's back that day. Our injury seems to just take longer. And again, I ran it on this last week, but we have problems with injuries for whatever reason. Things take longer with our injury staff.
Okay. But let's talk about what the Bears did second half. How did they readjust? What happened and how, we were playing conservative. We were thinking conservative the whole time. What did they do right? And did Cutler get lucky? What happened?
I think that the Bears probably figured out that Seneca Wallace is not going to run the football out of the pocket, that he is going to move very well in the pocket, but he does that to buy time behind the line of scrimmage. And so they didn't try to mirror him with a linebacker like Lance Briggs or a safety to make sure that if he left the pocket, he had somebody on him. They kept that in coverage. They kept that blitzing. They used that guy. So it basically just, that's what the big problem with Seneca is. He doesn't use the tools given to him. And with the Bears making, I think, that adjustment, along with the fact that they got their blitz packages in place to get pressure. They were having a problem in the first half getting pressure, and they did in the second half. Just kind of led to them getting a stoppage. They just figured the offense out. They figured out what we were trying to do. And on top of it, the offensive play calling changed. We went from being dynamic and doing different things and trying screens and trying to keep the defense off balance to basically calling plays that would be what the defense was probably guessing from situation to situation. I've got to go on one rant right now, and this is a rant that I've touched on just a few moments ago. And it's about a player who's got great skills to do one thing, but he does not. What is that skill? Run the football. Seneca Wallace was given legs that have him out challenging wide receivers in the field for playing time. And yet what does he do when he takes the snap back from the quarterback? He waits. He looks. He waits. He looks. He rolls out showing magnificent escapability. And he waits. And he looks. And he rolls back the other way, eluding a 300-pound defender, looking again and waiting again. Meanwhile, in front of him, 5, 10, 15 yards of open space show itself to him, and he looks at it, and he looks for more receivers. Seneca Wallace was, for whatever reason, given some of the greatest ability to scramble that the NFL has ever seen out of a quarterback. Unfortunately, we will never see it, and we will never know. We'll hear it from commenters whispered here, scouts told there, but the man will go down as not having used the best talent he had, his legs.
Strong words from a strong man, Hawkeye Kane. Well, with that, I think we're good. We're going to go into next week. We'll do a podcast. We're hoping to get these recorded Tuesday, posted Thursday, so look for the podcast on Thursday. We're also on iTunes, so if you look up iTunes, I've got an actual article on it. You can actually get these updated and it'll download to your iTunes so you can download it on your iPod or whatever. We also have the videos that are on YouTube that stream our audio, but they also have pictures of funny yet, clever pictures of the game and other things.
The word's pertinent.
Pertinent and
pertinent
important.
Pictures.
And, look for that too. Always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll talk to you soon.
Hang on for the ride, Hawk fans. We're not over with yet.
Talk to you next week. Good night.
Good night.